Hey there, guys. Thanks for joining us. Jay Bond here. I'm with my main man, Clayton.
Hey, man.
Meathead Movers. Nice to see you, brother. Thanks for coming and joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Excuse our fern here. We like to add a little bit of pop to our extra white room, two men sitting between a fern. Looks beautiful. Looks beautiful. We both got our nice floral colored shirt on.
Exactly. On Wednesdays we wear pink.
I dig it. Well, dude, I know we've been wanting to chat and just kind of go over some stuff. You're in a very parallel business as myself and us here, and we have clients that are going to be working with both of us. Many instances. And so what are some things, a lot of people at home, they're really daunted, right, by the process of, hey, what am I going to do as far as not just hiring a company, but like it's still a lot to take on, boxing, packing, getting ready, doing the whole process, whether we're moving local, moving out of state. I mean, what are some things people can do to, make their lives easier for when you guys come in, or vice versa, right? Because kind of symbiotic with that relationship there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the easiest thing you can do to really get prepared for move day is call a moving company.
Yeah.
We're the experts. Meathead Movers alone, we've been in the industry for about 25 years. We started in 1997. We've completed well over 200,000 moves for clients all over California. Yeah. So the best thing you can do to really get prepared for move day is reach out and see what needs to get done. Now, the biggest things you can do, make sure you're packing. Packing is always, it's kind of it's a curveball because a lot of people think it's very straightforward, but it's really not. It's really underestimated most of the time. So getting someone out there, really seeing what you're working with, make sure you get, there's always other things. You got to make sure you switch your cable companies, have everything set up prior to, get your TV provider, get everything disconnected. Have that all done prior to us actually getting out there for the moving company, because that all takes time and it makes move day a lot more stressful the more services you have coming in. So the more prepped you are having is really the easiest thing. For us, especially if you're moving out of state, know where you're going to. Get a good idea. It's never too early to call a moving company. Yeah. Usually moving is one of the last things on your mind because, 75% of the stress of moving is buying and selling a home. Yeah. That other 25% kind of is the actual moving portion. Wait,
working with us, it's way over stressful.
There you go. Same here, right? We make moving is one of the most stressful things you'll do in a lifetime. It's one of the top three, and the realtors at J Bond and at Meathead Movers, we are here to make it easy. So, Absolutely. We be as transparent as possible. Don't get if you're looking at different moving companies, you want companies that are going to be very transparent. Sure. The moving industry, as almost everyone knows, is not a really great reputation. Sure. You
dropped this, you scratched this, you broke this. Yeah. You let my cat out.
Yeah, exactly. You boxed my cat up, and now now he's gone. It's not the best. So you always want to get a company that's going to walk you through everything, and that's what we do at Meathead Movers. Of course, we dedicate a lot of time to making sure everything is understood, making sure they're prepared. The biggest thing is packing. Moving is, packing is stressful. You're trying to find another job if you're moving in and out of, if you're moving to a different area, you have to find another job. You have to, go look for homes. You have, you have your current job that you're still working at.
Of course,
people really underestimate that packing. So that's the biggest thing is making sure you're packed well before move day even starts. Start a month ahead. If you have a large home, you've been living at that home for 20 years, I'd say start 2 months ahead.
And that's a great topic. So if somebody needs help with their packing, what options can they explore?
Absolutely. So if you need any help with packing, you can try to do it yourself, but that most people don't know how to truly pack a box, right? There's kind of a science to it, and it seems really weird, but there's specific ways that you need to pack boxes to minimize damage. I'll give you an example. So like for small boxes or medium boxes, this is the one we get the most, is is people putting tons of books into a large box. That happens all the time. You're like over here lifting 100 pounds of books, and the box is gonna fall apart.
Yeah.
You know, so getting someone out there. You know, in terms of packing, you know, most moving companies offer a full service where they do packing as well. For instance, we have different options. If you need a little bit of packing, you know, just the last odds and ends, you want to keep your kitchen items to the last end, we have a 25 box bundle. Flat rate cost, you know exactly what you're getting.
Gotcha.
If you want us to back up the whole home, we can do 50 or 100. Really depends on what you need. So it really makes it as easy as possible. They're well trained. Our guys go through about a week of just packing training. Of 40 hours of packing training is what that really means. And they learn the real ins and outs of it. I was a mover back in 2014 when I started with the company. When we did our training, it was hilarious. They had you pack up a box full of very delicate wine glasses, vases, and then once you pack that box up, my supervisor would hold it up at shoulder length and just drop it. I had to do that 3 times.
Test check. That's a good test check.
Exactly. You know, and if you feel comfortable packing, you know, if you think you're a great packer, I recommend you try that because it's pretty tried and true. But if not, if you don't feel that way, definitely get some professional packers. You know, no moving company will hold any liability for boxes they don't pack.
Sure.
Because they can't guarantee the quality.
Yeah.
You know, so that's
Good
also
point. That's a good point there to listen to right there.
Your-
So okay.
Your china, you know, your fine china that was passed down from your great grandparents. Those are things that you should let professionals handle.
Yeah.
You know, the non-essentials like the towels, linens, pots, pans, things that are very
Fragile, right? Things are not.
things that aren't fragile, pack those up. You know, it's
Gotcha.
easy.
Okay.
But that's the biggest thing to make sure you're prepped up is making sure you're packed up prior to move day.
Got it. Okay, so packing, know what to pack, fragile stuff, hire somebody to handle that for you. Easy stuff that you don't mind breaking stuff, a little bit more resilient, right? Go ahead and take a whack at it yourself if you want. And then if somebody says, hey, you know, Clayton, we're getting ready to move, would you encourage that they get a walkthrough with somebody?
Oh, absolutely. Most moving companies, they offer 2 different kinds. We offer 3, but they either offer an over-the-phone estimate or an in-person.
Gotcha.
Now, it really depends on where you're located, but over-the-phone estimates are, you know, about 50% inaccurate.
Sure,
You know,
it's a shot in the dark, right?
It's a shot in the dark. You know, hey, I'm calling at work. Here's my inventory. You know, when I'm training our new representatives, you know, I do it over the phone, and I forget things that I have in my own home, and I work for a moving company. You know, it happens, and it's very common. In-person estimates are the most accurate.
Yeah.
You know, a really good person who's going to take care of you is going to be completely honest, because even people with the most experience when doing these estimates, they make mistakes, and sometimes they underestimate.
And it happens. Yeah, and you never want, you know, you'd rather overestimate than underestimate,
Exactly.
right? I think in this approach.
Yeah.
So getting a walkthrough with somebody is really key to really firm up, right, on a good quote or a good estimate for it. And then if you're getting ready to sell, like, what is a good timeline? Like if somebody's, you know, gets under contract, they're going to sell their home, or they're buying a home when they're moving. Do they want to call you right then and there? So you're thinking you need at least a couple weeks? What's a good turnaround time?
Absolutely. So most moving companies usually book up about 2 to 3 weeks in advance. We usually book up 3 to 4. We're pretty high demand here, even though we have a lot of student athletes. We have over 100 in our San Luis Obispo branch location alone. But with that, as soon as you get into escrow, or even if you're looking at buying a home, I would say if you're looking, get a quote then. You know, our quotes are good for 90 days. So say you've got in touch with Bond Real Estate here, and you said, hey, I'm looking at selling my home. You know, what you can do is, you know, you can absolutely reach out to us at that time. Say, hey, I don't have an exact time just yet, but I want to get a quote for what we're looking at. Here's the area that I'm looking into. And then from there you can budget accordingly, because you have a lot of costs that come into
Exactly.
you know, closing and buying a new home. You have closing costs. You have to factor in moving at some point.
Sure.
So if you get that quote right as you're kind of getting an idea, you're going to be more prepared for when you do need to move, and there's not going to be any unexpected costs. So, you know, but then, you know, you find a home, right? You enter, you put in an offer, it gets accepted. Another great opportunity to go ahead and give us a call. You don't want to wait you don't want to wait until a week before the move, because if you wait a week till a week before, availability, no matter where you call, is going to be very limited.
It's going to be slim. It's like trying to make a reservation at a restaurant the same day.
Exactly.
Going on a Friday night, you're like, so you guys got a table for two? And they're like, no.
Like, we're booked up till we close. So,
so early prep, like I said, you can't ever do your research, get your quotes, your estimates, try to schedule things, too far, in advance, right? There's never too far in advance, which is important. And then we have a lot of folks, of course, moving within the county. But what is some tips that you have, or what are some tips you have for folks who are maybe moving from SLO County or Central Coast and moving out of state?
Yeah, we're seeing that a lot. So yeah, California is actually the #1 state to be moved out of over the past 2 years. So it's happening a lot. And really, what's most important is looking at the company that you want to use. There's 3 different types of long distance moving companies. You have the van lines, and most people recognize Mayflower or North American. Those are very cheap, inexpensive companies, but they're companies that I would never recommend. I'll be completely honest, because there's just so many.
Well, here's a home viewer.
Sorry, Mayflower. Sorry, but they consolidate your items, and what that means is your items are put into a large semi-truck with other families' personal belongings.
Oh, okay.
Last thing you don't want your grandma's jewelry cabinet to be, at some other person's home in Idaho. And you live in Montana.
Interesting. Didn't know that.
So it's a big thing, and you're going to want a company that is going to do a fully accurate estimate and give you a guaranteed price. There's this thing called the bait and switch in the moving industry, where moving companies will quote you a lower price, because everything's based on weight when you're going over 100 miles.
Yeah.
So they do everything based off weight. They'll quote you as if you're moving IKEA furniture when you bought your furniture from an antiquity store.
Got it.
They'll quote you with IKEA furniture, get into a weigh station, say, hey, your items weigh twice as much as what we estimated for. You have to pay us twice as much, or we're going to hold your items hostage.
Sure.
And that's very common. So the van lines, you want to be very cautious with them. If you're going to use a long distance moving company, if you're looking to store your items, say you don't have a home yet, or you're building a home in Montana, we get this a lot. You're building a home, Minnesota, Montana, look for a pods style company, U-Box, pods, look for them, because they'll store your items for free. And then get a moving company to pack it up for you. We offer labor-only services. So if you get a pod, we'll load up that pod, make sure everything is nice and secured for you, and then you can feel confident that your items will get there without any damage.
Gotcha.
And then if you're really looking for a client-oriented service where you want to feel wined and dined at the end of your moving company, or at the end of your service, you would call a local company. You would call Meathead Movers, because we never consolidate your items. The same student athletes who are all background tested, background checked and drug tested, so you feel comfortable with them carrying your items over, this 2,000-mile trip you're going.
Sure.
They'll be there at the beginning and at the end. The same student athletes who load you up there will also unload you. We don't consolidate, and you get an agreed upon delivery date. That is the #1 thing that is an issue for people moving out of state, is they don't get their items on time, and a lot of that's due to the fact that they do consolidate.
Got it.
They use broker drivers, so once the route no longer makes sense, they store the items in storage until they find another driver, and it's very common that happens. So you really have to look at what makes sense for you. Do you not really, you're kind of like, I want to take it, but it doesn't mean a whole lot to me. I want it to be cost effective. You can go with the van lines option. I'd recommend a U-Haul before you go with the van line. Do it yourself, or get someone to load it up for you. If you're going to be storing your items, pod's a great option as well. And then if you really want to feel like you don't have anything to worry about, you can call Meathead Movers. Little plug. Yeah.
I love this. So good key takeaways, guys. Really think about your packing, smart packing early on. Really determine if you want to do a lot of it yourself or hire a company to do it, and know that, you'll be transferring liability, right, from them packing it for you. Timing things early on and getting a head start, addressing all your service providers, getting all those switched up, and then really forecasting out so, hey, we can get them in time to make sure they're there for our move when we close on our purchase or our sale, right, for our transition. So a lot of good, takeaway stuff. This is kind of one of those parts of the business that people don't really peek inside, but there are a lot of moving parts with it. So all good stuff, man. But brother, I appreciate you coming.
Of course, thank you so much, Jay.
Guys, check them out. Give them a holler if you need a quote on your move. You're thinking of buying or selling or moving, whether you're renting or anything really. They've been around for a long time. They got a great reputation, so check them out. As always, a pleasure. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll catch you very soon.
Have a great day, guys.